All right. You ready to do this?
Let's do this.
First Friday episode,
Episode 2, baby.
episode two. All right, everybody, welcome back to episode two of Hook the Line podcast. This is our first Friday segment. As you can see, we're in some formal attire because it's a big day.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Picks Day. It's Picks Day, baby.
Let's go. I take pride in these picks. You know, all the loyal fishermen out there expect greatness. It's strictly business today.
Yeah, a lot of people
That's
were
all I
relying
gotta
on
say.
these picks. It's a big slate. For me, this was probably one of the tougher slates to pick. I felt more comfortable
Yep.
other weeks, but I feel like I've got my picks down. You feel like you've got yours?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Then we'll get into it. Before just how you been, man? I mean, like I haven't talked to you since Tuesday, so
Tuesday, yeah, it's been a long week. You know, it took a while to get to Thursday night football, whatever that was last night. Kyler Murray struggled for a long time. Somehow put together some good drives, good catch by Marv, and then kicker can't kick it into the landing zone for whatever reason, even though that's what his job description is, and they lose. That was a heartbreaker for somebody that had the Cardinals last night. But yeah, do you
yeah,
watch that game?
specifically I'm thinking of one person I think we both know. So that is a heartbreaker. Yeah, I don't know how they talk about how these kickers have gotten so much better, and then I don't know how you miss the entire field. That will always baffle me whenever that happens, but
Come on, man.
I guess it's
Come
part of
on.
football. Yeah, personally, my fantasy team, I had Kenneth Walker, so Zach Charbonnet and I are gonna have
Oh
a
boy. Yeah, yeah,
conversation
yeah.
about what happens when we get
Tough.
inside the 10-yard line.
Those games are just brutal, man. They're just games they're hard to tune into.
Yeah, speaking of fantasy, I mean, are you getting it going this week? Like, are we gonna see something, a little spark?
0-3 doesn't feel great. Never want to be 0-3. The issue is 0-4 is a lot worse. I want to say maybe 5% of teams that are 0-4 don't make the playoffs. So, this is a big week for my Connecticut Card. Made a huge trade.
Hmm.
Um, Decided to move away from quarterback Jaden Daniels and Debo Samuel.
Hey,
Um,
did you see the news this morning? I mean,
Big news. That's huge news. I'm sorry, Mark Tardy. Hopefully comes back soon for you. But we're riding with our good friend Daniel Jones. I love what Steichen's doing with him. And we were able to get our hands on Amari in Hampton, who is now going to get maybe 30 carries against the lowly New York Giants. And we really need this week. Um, and yeah, we'll see what happens. We're still waiting on Rashee Rice. Xavier Worthy's back. We need this.
yeah, and I mean, my Atlanta Falcons, I just pray for them that they don't get beat by Marcus Mariota. That would
Yeah, that's right. They're playing
be
the
pitiful,
Falcons.
painful. I mean, no
Huge bounce
worries that I
back
haven't
week.
used for last week. So, and then I mean, we had good sports weekend in general though, like Ryder Cup this weekend. I don't know if you watched any of that. I think when we're
I,
filming
I, I tuned in this morning.
one,
I did watch the beginning of the first match with Bryson and JT and quickly fell back asleep, and it ended up being the right decision because we got whooped this morning. I actually haven't looked
it
at
seems
the
like we're making a
scoreboard.
bit of a recovery. I think it's
Okay,
3-1
okay,
and
that's
we
really
probably
good to
got another
hear
game, but
because
uh,
that was a rough start.
yeah, we need it. I mean, can't lose in New York. So New
Nope,
York.
but it's early in the week, so
But the most important thing for this weekend, the most important thing for us is this college football slate, and this might be the best one that I've seen in a long time. I mean, we've got night games, we've got whiteouts, we've got blackouts, we've got a little bit
you
of
name
everything.
it.
So I'm excited to get into
You
this.
Where do we want to start? Oh wait, we're starting with the underdog.
Oh yeah. So new segment for everybody. We did catch and release last week. We're gonna do something a little bit fun at the beginning before we get into our big game predictions. We're gonna do a segment called Deep Sea Dogs, and
Yes, sir.
essentially we're reaching way down in the barrel. The teams that people think are rollovers, easy cakewalks, look over games, and we're gonna be picking one underdog that we think might be able to get an upset on either just a big or a ranked team this week.
Yep.
We're going to take our pick. We're going to be tracking this week by week. You're going to get 5 points for covering the spread, and you're going to get 10 points if your team wins outright. And then we'll see who can reach into the barrel farthest and come up with some victories.
Yep. You want to lead us off? You were telling me before we started the pod that you got a juicy one. So
Yeah, so I'm actually going to throw my glasses
yeah,
on this
get
one
ready.
because this is a pretty big one. This is a team that at the start of the season, I would just like to put out there. I stuck my neck out on the line for, and I made a bet on week one because I thought that they were gonna, get it done. And I don't think a lot of
Okay.
people believed in them. Rough season last season.
Okay.
They bounced back. They're 4-0. And give me some cowbell, baby. Give me some cowbell. Tennessee walking into Mississippi State. Everybody's saying there's no way. There's no way they get it done. Tennessee looked great against Georgia. How can you pick Mississippi State? Arizona State looked good last year. Tennessee lost to Arkansas last year. They have a fluke road loss every year. They seem magnetically drawn to it. And give me the cowbell. Give me Blake Shapen. Give me the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Wow. And what's that money line looking at? What are they?
They're a plus 7.5. So
Okay.
I don't know what the money line's going off at. I can check for
Still,
you, but
that's a big return.
it's
So
a big return, but it's not, it's not over 10 points. It's nothing.
right,
It's like Vegas is a little bit on my side, which I always like, just
right.
that it might be closer than people think. But I think this quarterback, Joey Aguilar, I mean, you play in the Big Ten. The Big Ten top is great, but you can beat up on a lot of those little Big Ten teams. And I think psychologically, if he goes into this game thinking that you can beat up on some of these smaller SEC teams, he might have something coming from the Mississippi State Bulldogs. So
Right.
that's my deep sea dog of the week. You
All
can go
right.
and, move on to yours. Let me hear what you got.
Well, best of luck to you. So, we'll start off with a little appetizer. We're calling this the shrimp cocktail. For all my DGens, there's a matchup tonight that is on my radar. Okay. We got the Florida State Seminoles going on the road to Charlottesville, Virginia to play the Virginia Cavaliers. And I'm going to go with UVA. I really think FSU, they got the best of Alabama. They, had a rough start with DJ, right? Norvell disappointing after going undefeated the year prior, right? They wanted to get out to a tough start or a hot start, excuse me. And I think they caught an Alabama team that was kind of all over the place. And they really don't have any film on Tommy Castellanos, who's coming over from BC, right? So there's a lot of ambiguity in that first game. And hats off to Florida State for getting it done. But I don't know. I like this spot UVA is in. Chandler Morris is their quarterback. Their line's only given up one sack this year. Um, I just like this spot. I think it's a big um, value spot for UVA with how much hype Florida State's getting. I really don't think they're a top 10 team in the country. Like eight's kind of overdoing it for me. I do think they fall somewhere in between the 15 and 25 range, maybe. I think is a better spot to put them. But I don't know. I would definitely take the points with UVA, and I would sprinkle the money line for my appetizer of the week tonight, um, which leads us into a great slate tomorrow.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I actually do. That UVA offense is better than a lot of people think. So
Yep.
I'm a little bit with you on that one. I think that's going to be a good game and a good Friday night slate in general. I mean,
Yeah,
you got Arizona State, TCU as well. So if you're tuning in Friday night,
it's a good one.
those got you covered over here.
We got some MLB games, but that's a good college football game. Don't be sleeping on that.
Yeah. So as well, I wish you the best of luck. I think they get it done, but
Yeah,
Virginia Cavaliers and Mississippi State Bulldogs, that's what we're riding with.
they're
We'll
big
put it
underdogs for a
down.
reason, but
We'll see
we're
how it
putting our
works.
faith. Yep.
We may come back next week and both teams lost by 30, but it doesn't matter.
We'll wear it. On to
Yep,
the next.
exactly. All right, so that's the Deep Sea Dog segment. If you guys are listening, feel free to give your comments down below, and who you think maybe is a Deep Sea Dog and underdog. I know a lot of people are talking about Washington this week, maybe
Ooh.
for a game for Ohio State. I don't know. There's some other games in there that you can throw around. So,
All right. Now the marquee matchups.
oh yeah.
What are we thinking first?
Let's go ahead and start it off with Notre Dame and Arkansas.
Notre Dame.
Let's get a weird game going. Let's get the weird vibes going because
Okay.
this
A
is a
weird
very,
one.
very strange game. I mean, you got Notre Dame going on the road to an SEC team in Arkansas that hasn't looked all that bad. So I just think it's going to be weird. It's a weird spot. You've never seen Notre Dame like below 500 walking into another environment against a team that Arkansas they should roll over. essentially, but you never know. So
Never know.
lead us off with what your breakdown is, and we'll get
Real
to
quick, what's the spread? What's the over under? You have it with you?
so spread right now. Notre Dame -4.5,
Okay.
and then the over under Giant at 64.5. They think it's going to be
Whoa.
a shootout.
It's all the way up to 64, huh?
Hmm.
All right. So there's a lot of hype behind Taylor Green and Arkansas, and Notre Dame's been let down going to Miami at home against A&M. Got back on track against the lovely Purdue Boilermakers last week. But I really think Notre Dame, that was a really good get right spot for them. I think they ran the ball super well. Obviously, Julian Love was probably the favorite outside of quarterbacks to win Heisman. So I think that was a really big spot for them. And I mean, I don't know about this Arkansas team, man, right? Like they obviously have a high powered offense. And that over under reflects it. I really don't understand why it's getting bet up all the way to 65, 64. I would probably lean the under. But I really do want to highlight this Notre Dame run offense because it's a huge focal point for them and it's important for them to get it going and it's going to lead to a ton of success for them. All right. I don't know why the quality is so bad. Oh, there we go. But this is last week against Purdue. Um, and I'm really just going to show you how their offensive line is able to get so much push and generate explosive plays through the run because it's huge for them. It opens up a bunch of pass plays later on, and it's going to be that's a huge point in Arkansas's defense that's flawed. So right here, we're going to see this is kind of like a counter blocking scheme where you get the guard and the tackle pulling, but this is huge for them because they get down blocks over here, and these big guys are able to generate so much open space for Jeremiah Love to operate, right? Safety comes down in a bad spot. Once he bounces outside, he's hard to catch, right? So he's gonna take this 2nd and 11, right? This is a huge play to get back on schedule, and that's gonna set them up for another first down. People also forget that they have another running back that is very talented and can beat you with his speed and generate big plays. They do it again. They pull the guard, block, down block, down block. There's people on the second level getting on these backers, right? And there's a ton of space right there. See this guy? You're seeing his numbers, which is a great sign when you're trying to run block. And he's able to just generate another 3rd and short, able to capitalize. And those are the big plays for them as an offense or a team that was struggling early on. Um, and yeah, they need this big. I think my official score prediction was I have Notre Dame 31, Arkansas 24. So my leans for that game would be Notre Dame -4 and the under 64.
Okay. I like it. And I was going to touch on literally the same points you just said. I bring up this, I mean, Arkansas is 87th nationally in rushing yards allowed. They allowed 157 per game
Mm-hmm.
against the Notre Dame team that obviously wants to run the ball. I mean, I don't think they want to pass the ball with CJ Carr
No,
do it when they have to. But if you have Jeremiah Love back there and you have, what's it, Jeremiah Prince, Jeremiah,
Price or whatever. I think
um,
that one two
big problem.
punch is
Like I feel like I looked at one play from Arkansas last week and I said, I don't know how in the world they're going to be able to beat Notre Dame. And it was that last play where they just got bullied and it was 3rd and 11 and they just got pushed for like 8 yards. And that Notre Dame offensive line definitely looked at that play and they're licking their chops. They're saying, "Come on, like give me this Arkansas defense."
and if I'm Marcus Freeman, I want to be on the field playing offense as long as possible. I think this is going to be a huge time of possession game for Notre Dame. I think it's important they don't let Taylor Green have these explosive plays that keep them in the game. I think they're just going to try and operate on the ground as much as possible.
Absolutely. I agree. I think one key, and then going from playing devil's advocate a little bit here, is like Arkansas has 6 turnovers created. Notre Dame's got 3. That's going to be a key for Arkansas in this game. If you want to
Take
beat
care of the
Notre
ball.
Dame, who chews up the clock, who runs the ball, who tries to keep your offense on the field, you got to turn the ball over. You got to either punch out a fumble, You got to either pick a ball off when they decide to throw. That's going to be a key for Arkansas. But I do love Taylor Green. But I think if he's not on the field, he can't win the game, and that's what
Right.
Freeman's going to do to him. So I'm kind of agreeing with you, kind of not. I've got Notre Dame 31. I've got Arkansas 28.
Okay.
They they do cover, but I think this is more of just a slow grind out. I think Notre Dame will have control throughout this whole game. I think maybe it's 31-21 and Arkansas gets a touchdown late to cover that spread. Little
Okay.
late cover there. But I agree with you. I'm leaning the under on this
The
one.
under. Got it.
Bit of a
Like
bake.
it.
So yeah,
Yeah, we'll see, man. That's a good one to start us off tomorrow.
great one, great one. And I think I'm not going to discount. I do think that Arkansas could go and win that game. There's a very
Oh
real
yeah,
possibility.
100%. 100%.
So we'll see. I think that'll be a fun one to start us off. We'll move on now to the Big Ten, team that got embarrassed last week versus a team that probably feels like not enough people are talking about them. So this is a big statement game. USC at Illinois, -6.5 USC, over under is 60.5. Go ahead and give me your thoughts on that.
All right. Talked about it on Tuesday. Illinois looked embarrassed, right? They didn't look good on one side of the ball. Offense, special teams, defense, like it was not good. And now they have to turn around and play a pretty good team. I want to say, like, when I was talking about the tiers of the Big Ten and Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State at the top, and there's Indiana, I think USC's right there. Like, it's Indiana, USC, and maybe Michigan. That's right in that tier below S tier. And I really think this is a good football team. I really think they're like within a top 20, maybe 15 team. I really, really love Lincoln Riley. He's been able to do great things when he's been in the college football game. And I think there's a lot of things on tape that he's going to be able to take advantage of. I'm pretty sure I heard Illinois plays man coverage at like a crazy high rate, which
They do.
is
They do.
cookies for Lincoln Riley.
Mhm.
Let's get into it. I think
Uh,
they played USC played Michigan State last week, and they tried everything and they couldn't stop them. But I want to talk about specifically the plays where they were able to exploit man coverage because I think that's going to be a huge point in this game. Either way, my Avas looked really good, and I think this game is going to be high flying, high scoring, right? I don't think we're going to expect Illinois to roll over, but it's going to be a good one. Okay, so third and short here. A key indicator of man coverage is that this corner is going to fly across the field, right? So once that happens, he knows this is man coverage. Everyone knows it's man coverage, right? And I think Lincoln Riley was expecting this, but they also run it a kind of almost triple option kind of play, right? So they're going to have inside zone. He's going to be reading him, and he's going to be out open in the flat. But what I love is what he does. It's important in man coverage to run these little meshes.
mhm.
That way, this guy can't make a play. He's totally out of the play, and you put all the pressure on the guy that was in charge of him to go out there and make a play. But this guy is already running full speed to the sideline, right? So you're stretching this defense horizontally, and this is an explosive play on third and short that puts them right into midfield. Now, this is a different play, and this is man coverage. It doesn't really look like it on first glance, but what I also want to highlight is how the USC's ability to run the ball has been really good this year. I think they're running at like 7 yards a carry. Like it's something insane. And so,
Yeah, and if I can just point out, like, if you really want to know if this is man coverage and it looks disguising, just look at the cornerbacks. I mean, they're looking
yeah,
right at the receiver. The safety up there is looking right at the receiver. Normally, their eyes are going to be, if they're in zone, a little bit on the quarterback. So
right.
diagnose that.
And like I said, they're able to run the ball efficiently. And if you're playing linebacker, you're playing these kind of short hook zones. Your key indicator are to see if it's run or pass are these guards, right? If they usually pull 7 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, it's going to be a run. So what Lincoln Riley's going to do is he's going to pull the guard and run play action out of it. And what's going to happen is it's going to leave these guys wide open on the back end, right? So we had a safety back to the beginning of the play, we had this safety on him who's going to end up catching the touchdown. But this guy is going to come down into the run fit with the fake. I don't know if you can see it. Kind of tough to see because stupid camera operator likes to zoom in for whatever reason. But he's caught all the way down here, which leaves this guy wide open. And honestly, a decent throw from the quarterback Jordan Malava.
Yeah.
So yeah, want to highlight that because I think that's going to be a huge part of the USC offense.
Mhm.
And my official score prediction and picks kind of got a big one here.
All right.
Are you ready for this?
I feel is somebody getting spanked or
I have the USC Trojans winning 49 to 27 over the Illinois Fighting Illini, and they make their stamp on the college football world and probably boost themselves into a driver's seat spot in the top 25.
I like it. I like the pick. And it's so easy to get there because of what Illinois did last weekend. It's like, how can you possibly look at that team and trust them to go in there and get a win? Some things I want to point out, similar to kind of that vein, the man coverage thing is going to be an issue because Mayav is good and they've got weapons. And this is not the same Illinois defense that we've seen in the past. So
Nope.
that's what Mendoza burned them on at Indiana. Like if you go watch that game, it's just man coverage. He's dissecting, diagnosing all of that, and they're just burning them. Illinois is also 132nd in the country at protecting the quarterback, and we touched on this in the Tuesday episode. Them just trying to block people and failing. If they can't do that this game, USC has a weak secondary, but that front seven is not that bad. So they're going to be able to get to the quarterback. I do think Altmaier is good enough, and I think Lincoln Riley's never been known for his defense.
Right.
So I think this one could kind of they'll put up a lot of points. I mean,
They'll
Michigan,
put point. They'll put point more than 10, whatever
yeah, but
that
it's
was
going to
last
fall
week.
on the ability to stop USC or the ability to create turnovers. The other thing, the only thing that kind of made me anxious about this is USC is 128th in penalty yards, and so they don't play a very
Okay.
clean game. Illinois is 38th, like 45 yards per game. I think it's something, and USC's up in the 80s. And I think against good defenses that can run man coverage and send pressure, if you get into third and long situations, it can get very hard to complete.
Absolutely.
You don't have a lot of
Absolutely.
time to get to the sticks. Um, so yeah, I think that's the main battle, and then Altmaier obviously has got to show something, versus a weak secondary. So I'll go to my official pick. What I like, I love the over in this game. I think,
Love. Love.
there's not a lot of defense. I mean, it's one of those classic, USC doesn't have much of a defense, and Illinois showed last week they can let up points. I do think the West Coast traveling is always hard, so a little bit of a home edge for Illinois. So I do have them covering the spread, but I do have USC winning 35 to 33, smacking the over by about 8 points. But USC or Illinois is covering that game for me.
Okay.
I
Okay.
have USC winning. So
All right.
yeah.
Also, fireworks in the noon slate in terms of
Yes.
points, but
And I have two. I mean, the score predictions I have on here, if it turns out this way, I will just be cheesing ear from ear because it'll be two great games on the TV.
yeah, exactly. Start a huge day.
Yeah. Next, okay, we'll transition into let's do Auburn, Texas A&M. Let's go to the SEC. Let's go to College Station. A similar game with a bigger spread. We'll get to the tighter spreads in a second. But Auburn at Texas A&M in College Station. Texas A&M has had a bye week before this. So rough spot for Auburn coming off a brutal Oklahoma loss. Now you're in your fifth straight game. Texas A&M, that miracle win against Notre Dame. Some may say it's luck, some say it's Texas A&M breaking a curse, you know, is what it is. They got it done, is the end total of that. So Auburn, Texas A&M, give me your thoughts. 6.5 Texas A&M, over under 52.5.
All right. Well, so as somebody who had the Auburn spread last week, I'm a little salty at this team. And we talked about it on Tuesday. What kind of went wrong for them? Um, and only a psychopath would take them twice, right?
Only a psychopath. Legit. Not even
I,
Auburn fans, I don't think.
I I do think that they're able to bounce back and put together a decent game in College Station. I think I had what was my score prediction? I had what was the over under again?
52.5. So
52.
a little low, but
Let's go. Let's go. Texas A&M 28, Auburn 24.
Okay. Okay. So you got
I
all.
do I so I am the psychopath that is going to take Auburn again. I think that was 100% the right side last week and was destroyed by a bad beat. And
One of
yeah,
the worst beats
still
I've ever seen. I mean, a safety when you started the ball on the 25, all you got to do is move forward. That's the only direction you can go. And anyways, just bad beat for all those bettors out there. Yeah,
I
felt bad.
feel you people.
But I don't think you're a psychopath actually
There
at
we
all
go.
at the scoreline. I actually am gonna one up you on the psychopath route because last week I talked to you about I thought Oklahoma -6.5 was good. I thought rough spot for Jackson Arnold going back home to Oklahoma. And I've watched Auburn for a lot of years. And what I saw out of that game was much different than any game I've seen in the past 4 years from Auburn. Normally, Auburn goes on the road and just gets like, you don't count it. You only count the games of Jordan Hare. You're like, if you're playing against a top 15 team on the road and you're Auburn, I've seen them roll over, crumble into a ball, and just lay on the field. I mean, they've done it at Penn State for college game day, do it against LSU, Bama, Georgia, literally every year for the last 4 or 5 years. So to see them go on the road against a solid team that a lot of people now have in the top 10, I think it's slightly overrated Oklahoma, but that's not what I'm
Mhm.
talking about. So I think that Auburn actually showed some grit, and I think they're going to come out with a fire under themselves because of how they got screwed in that game.
Yeah,
I think that O
okay.
line is going to have a bounce back game, play really
I
well.
like it.
And where I see the keys to the game kind of going in Auburn's favor, and then also I'll touch on some problems. Auburn's run defense is the best in the country. So you make them one dimensional. You make Texas A&M one dimensional. I think that Oklahoma front is not the same as this Texas A&M front. I think you might see a similar front to like what Baylor had. And if Auburn can run the ball at will and control the clock and keep Marcel Reed, Casey Concepcion, Mario Craver, all those guys off the field, I think they could turn it into a grudgy game like Oklahoma. And I do think, unlike last week, I think they get it done. I think they might get a little lead and then they'll try to choke it late. And I think somehow, some way, the defense makes a stop. And I have Auburn winning this game 24-23, a thriller in College Station.
Wow.
Texas A&M trying to get their get back, and they can't do it again. Magnetically drawn to 8-4. Here they come.
Wow.
Here they come, the Aggies.
Speechless.
Yep. So big prediction there. I do think though Mario Craver, Casey Concepcion might torch that. I might get torched by this pick because they might just fry that Auburn secondary. I mean, those guys are legit,
Possible.
and Marcel Reed is legit. So you got to keep that offense off the field if you're Auburn. But
Absolutely.
that's my pick. Bold prediction. It's a big upset, but I'm going with it. I'm gonna out psychopath you today.
All right. Way to go.
Okay, and then we'll stick in the SEC here for what is, in my opinion, the truest pick 'em that Vegas has put out in a long time, where it's -1.5 Ole Miss.
Mm.
That's with home field advantage. That's with LSU being a contender. So this is really straight up a 50. They're saying 50-50, take your pick. Who do you like? So I'll go ahead and ask you, who do you like?
This is a tough one, right? A lot of people out there are like, oh, trap line, Ole Miss minus the points at home. Honestly, they put together a decent resume so far, 4-0, few in conference wins. It made a quarterback change with Chambliss, who's looked pretty good, honestly. However, he's played Arkansas and Tulane, so maybe a grain of salt there. But I don't know if he can stop this LSU defense, who's been right. I think that in terms of the line, why it's that way it is probably because maybe people think LSU's wins are overrated after Clemson falling into the dumpster. DJ Lagaway playing terrible, throwing 5 picks, which were all his fault pretty much. And they got a cupcake game with Southeastern Louisiana or something, right? So they don't really have a crazy resume, but I don't think that should discredit this defense. I think they've been playing way better than any LSU defense has really played in the past. Um, so let's look into it a little bit. I'm going to walk through the last play of the Clemson game because I think that's a huge key to show what they're able to do on third down and when they need it the most. So this is fourth and short, and they're going to play two high safeties, and all these guys are going to be manned up. But what you're gonna see happen up front is they have two essentially all American linebackers. This is Perkins and this is Whit Weeks. Shout out Landry Kiffin.
Oh,
Um,
we're gonna get into what weeks in a second.
but watch what they're able to do. So they're gonna send their three down linemen kind of to pinch the interior offensive lineman, and then they're gonna create a QB contain with a crisscross stunt, which is kind of insane if you really think about it, because now both tackles are engaged and they're just going to be wide open. So if Klubnik wants to run this way, he's dead. If he wants to run this way, he's dead. And now you have these. This guy's probably open, right? Maybe he's coming across the middle of the field. But what I like is how this guy is kind of getting his eyes back there and ready for the cross. And really just clamped up right now. And Klubnik forces a bad throw, and this ends the game, right? So I really think this LSU defense is really getting slept on a little bit. Where's my next clip? This is another one from the end zone. This is kind of they're playing zone. This is 100% DJ Lagway's fault, just for the record, before I get into this. But I think I really just want to talk about the instincts of the safety because everybody's clamped kind of. I mean, you can take this if you want. I'm pretty sure this situation was late in the first half and they're trying to go down the field and get into field goal range. But you also can't turn the ball over and give it right back to LSU in plus territory. And watch how this safety reads Lagway and just jumps this route
Mhm.
and takes it back into field goal range and late in the first half where they're now able to get back on the board and go up big. So my official score prediction is LSU wins this game 21-17. I got LSU money line spread and the under in this game. What is it at again?
Is that 55 and a half?
Yeah, kind of high with how well this LSU defense has been playing, and their offense also hasn't been uber impressive. So really think that's a high line that has no reason being that high.
Yeah, but you've got LSU winning even as an underdog kind of.
Even as the underdog, I'm not. There's no such thing as a trap line. This is just simply Vegas just being disrespectful to Clemson and Florida.
Yes, yes. I do actually agree with that very much. I do want to say Lane Kiffin came out and tweeted take the over. So you are fading Lane
That
Kiffin.
was a big that was a big storyline early in the week. That was kind of wild of him. He's always been out on Twitter for whatever reason. I'm not really buying into that. I think that if LSU is going to win this game, which I think it's going to be because of their defense, and Whit Weeks looks like an absolute psychopath. I don't know if you've seen him on the football field, what he looks like, but he looks like
In that
somebody.
documentary, he looks like the nicest guy in the world. He'll take your fucking
He's a deranged lunatic, kind of like Keekly or like any of like the best all
hand.
linebackers ever kind of are on and off the field. But
Yeah.
that is my official prediction.
Oh, I totally agree with you. And I saw him in that documentary. He like literally looks like the nicest guy. So, big ups for Landry Kiffin. That's
Wild.
sitting at home feeling real good about that. She actually drove, I saw like 5 hours to go surprise Whit Weeks yesterday when they play tomorrow. So,
How did they even like become a couple? Like, if we're Landry Kiffin, why not just like go be with like an Ole Miss football player, or a basketball player, or like
it seems
why Whit Weeks? Like out of all people, I mean, I no hate to Whit Weeks. If you're watching this, dude, I'm sorry, but like I don't
no
know. I feel like it's
respect
just
respect to Whit Weeks. I mean, like that's a pull. I mean, he's doing well for himself, and he's probably in Lane Kiffin's head pretty severely at the moment. Um,
yeah. If you're commenting on Twitter like about your daughter's relationship, bro, like what are you doing?
we gotta get back on the field. Lane's always been a little strange. The last time I faded Lane, I saw him commenting on the Tennessee Ohio State playoff game, and it was right before it started, and he pretty much was commenting that Tennessee was gonna, whoop him. And
Also, he's got a great track record, huh?
great track record. So you fading him, honestly, good pick on your side. Just before I start, I'm gonna ride with Lane on the over. So just gonna get
All
that.
right. Well, oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're tailing.
So I woke up every day, like every day this whole week. I looked at every game. Everyone was hard to pick except for one. This one I felt like I had in the bag all week, whatever. And then like 3 days ago,
Uh-oh.
Twitter post comes out, hard launch, Landry Kiffin and Whit Weeks dating. Now, I'm not one to say that this off the field stuff affects on the field that often, but I don't think you can allow your daughter's boyfriend to come into your house and beat you. And not only beat you, like show up like the defense and not show up on offense, anything like that. It feels a little bit like you're getting disrespected the whole time. So that made me uncomfortable. But then I realized LSU's a national title contender. Garrett Nussmeier is a Heisman Trophy contender. As much as people want to say he hasn't performed, I think this is the game that they show that. I think what's been missing this whole year has been that offense. I think this is the game that that offense turns up. I don't think it's the defense that wins it for them. I think it's the offense. I think they still light up Whit Weeks, Ole Miss. I think they still get to him, all that. They'll diagnose him. But I think Garrett Nussmeier proves he's in the Heisman conversation on Saturday. I have Ole Miss winning 38 to or sorry, LSU winning 38 to 30, and I have
Mm.
um but going to be a really really fun game to watch. I mean, I think this one is going to get really interesting. So,
All
yeah,
right.
just gut feeling.
Kind of two opposite sides of the spectrum, but we're both agreeing that LSU is who they say they are.
Yes. Yes, I agree. I believe into the hype. I think there's a reason why they came back for a fifth year, Garrett Nussmeier, and then a reason why they've been talked about as national champion. And as much as I don't really like Brian Kelly, and I think he can be a crybaby at times, and I think he did in that documentary, I do think he's going to get it done in this game. So we'll see when he faces the big dogs in the SEC, but I think
Yep,
in this game.
I agree.
Cool. Um, all right. Second to last one. Well, actually, I'll let you pick. Obviously, I think we have different sides. Whatever you think is the second biggest game, because you could argue either one of these is the biggest game.
Ooh, well, I think that we should head over to the Big Ten. Not saying that it's like the second biggest game. Maybe it is. I just think that this is a big hush the naysayers game for Penn State, right? I think that they played essentially nobody already. Nevada, FIU,
Villanova,
Villanova,
crazy
like,
backdoor cover, by the way, for people
oh
that
yeah, what
not.
that's in the past, but whatever. This is a big test for them. Obviously, Oregon's not a bad team. Dante Moore's looked good. Dan Lanning, obviously undefeated last year. But I don't know. This Penn State defense is not getting a lot of hype, even though they're kind of the same as old. They're pretty good. They're pretty impressive. I got a newer quarterback coming in on the road at Beaver Stadium at night, white out, right? You can't hear a thing when you're there. So
Yeah.
this is going to be a tough one. I want to highlight a few things of the Penn State defense, right? And these clips need to be taken with a grain of salt because these are Nevada clips, and Nevada's going to be nothing this year. But it's important to highlight the talent they have on defense because they're talented and they deserve a little bit of recognition. So this is game week 1, Nevada, and I'm going to highlight this guy in a little bit, but he is the next Abdul Carter, Mike Parsons. This guy's an animal. He'll destroy games. But I just want to show you the overall football IQ from this defense, right? Zane Durant getting double teamed right here, but they're both going to let him go, right? So he's like, "What? What is happening right now? Why are they letting me go?" So he's going to stop, and he's right in the way of this screen, and that's going to cause just total confusion in the backfield and creates a turnover. What a play by their defensive tackle out of all people to make a huge play and get them the ball on their own 20. I think he might have been, I don't even know what happened after this. He might have taken it back, but still, really impressive play from him. And then now I want to talk into Denny did not, whatever his name, Sutton, 33. He's a beast. He's going to be playing this spy that they kind of had Abdul Carter playing last year. Um, they somehow get pressure with three guys. Once again, this is Nevada. I'm not expecting them to really do this against Oregon, even though they might. But he's hunting. This guy's a scary human. He's going to play this spy, and he's going to run all the way back over to the side of the field and get him. Look at how scary this man is. Like, what? And I don't think anybody wants to play this guy.
That's a Ray Lewis scream.
Like, he is just happy that he almost killed you. Um, so,
No.
official prediction, I have Penn State winning the whiteout, silencing the naysayers, 23-13. So, I have -3 and the under.
Okay. Okay. I like it. I like it.
What do we got? What do we think?
All right. So Oregon, I do think is getting a lot of hype. And I actually saw there was a poll out that I don't know if you know Josh Pate puts out his poll
Heard
for
of? Yep.
State of the World on the line. Who he thinks is going to win? 75% of people in that poll put Oregon to win,
Hey,
which I personally thought was crazy. And so I started doing some digging. I did find that Dante Moore's a great quarterback. I'll give him that. He's young. He's a great quarterback.
they're going to be a great team. This is just kind of one of those spots.
And the guy on the outside, DeCorian Moore, I mean, that guy is a machine, a monster. But Penn State has AJ Harris, who's a great cornerback. And so that matchup's going to be one I'm going to be excited to watch because they're going to throw it up to DeCorian Moore. They're going to let him just go get it. They're going to have some plays where it's just like, just throw it up, kind of how Auburn does with Cam Coleman, Alabama with Ryan Williams sometimes, Jeremiah Smith. Same kind of thing there. I don't think that the Oregon run defense is anywhere near where it needs to be in this game. I think to beat Penn State, especially in their own place where you can't hear, the thing that's easier to call when you can't hear is just a
Run.
run play.
Yep.
So for Penn State, their offense fits perfectly into a loud, raucous stadium.
They
And
play great in
Oregon,
these whiteout games.
they do. They're also, yeah, I was gonna bring that up too. I mean, last 10 matchups, I think they're 8-2, something like that.
If it's Ohio State, yeah, it's more of a toss up. But anybody else?
And the last ones I will mention have not been particularly close. Like all the whiteout games that I've seen, and I also, I mean, this goes back to Auburn all the way through SMU last year. They haven't allowed more than about 17 points at a whiteout game, and they've won every one by double digits. So I'm going to stick with the trend. I'm going to stick with the trend of them winning by double digits. I'm going to stick with the trend of the whiteout. I just think it's too early. Week 9, maybe you come back, you have a different viewpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Penn State whiteout for this young Oregon team, who I do like, but I like Penn State more, and I like those two backs a lot more. So I'm going Penn State 30, Oregon 16, two touchdown win, and that, if I believe, gets the under as well. So I'm going to agree with you on that, and
There
I
we
think
go.
a pretty solid win for Penn State.
I agree. I think as a team that's returning most of their guys, this is a good spot for them against an Oregon team who's pretty younger, got a few transfers. Shout out Dylan Thieneman, great safety, who will play better as the season goes on. But I got to lean Penn State. This was another huge one is that this game is at night. Usually
Yes.
Fox has hoed them playing this game at noon, but they finally get it at night, and it's going to be next to impossible to get audibles, pass protection, even maybe hear the quarterback at
Oh,
all. So
no, I totally agree. I think the only chance Oregon has is getting off to a fast start. I think if you let Penn State get a lead, you can all but kiss it goodbye because they're
right,
going to clock. You're going to have to make adjustments, and you can't hear in that
they're
place.
gonna they're gonna play like the Chiefs and just hold the ball in time possession, kind of like I said with Notre Dame, and just destroy you with this run game because Penn State and Notre Dame have similar run games.
Yeah. So I actually, I mean, I guess that's the first pick that we have agreed
We
both.
align, stars align,
So, if you're looking for any particular locks in this video,
maybe.
let's have both of us have made that prediction there. So let's move on to the big one, in my opinion. And the big one every year it delivers.
Yep.
Every year it spectacular moments. I mean, I remember in the national championship, SEC championship, this game will never not be good. So for anybody that thinks that, Alabama has Georgia's number or Georgia is just a superior team to Alabama this year, it doesn't matter in this game. None of it matters. Um, and so we've got the line at UGA -3.5. It's pretty much just the home teams will get that 3-point bump. So
Right.
pretty much an even line
It's
from
yep, exactly.
And then you've got the over under at 52 and a half. So I think what we kind of talked about when we previewed it on Tuesday, they also kind of think it's going to be a defensive game. And I do agree with that. So give me your takes on that. Alabama at Georgia in between the hedges. Let's do it.
Okay. So, like you just said, I expect the defenses to kind of own this game. I think that's the focal points of both these teams. Um, However, I did mention it earlier. Alabama had a rough game to start the year, played a Florida State team that was kind of searching for a win, searching for a hot start. Also had a brand new quarterback and a probably brand new offense with that was impossible to really predict. So now they go into Athens and play Gunner Stockton and a Georgia team they kind of know pretty well. And who I want to highlight in this game is Ty Simpson because I think Ty Simpson is a better quarterback for Kalen DeBoer than Jalen Milroe was. I think he does a lot of the things that Ty Simpson wants, or excuse me, that DeBoer wants to do a lot better than Milroe is able to do. And I'm talking kind of like a Viking style offense where it's a lot of play action. You're timing up QB footwork with routes and all that kind of stuff. So here we are. Hold on. Not sharing my screen like an idiot. They put up an impressive performance against Wisconsin, who's, I mean, not really anything impressive, but he was playing out of his mind in terms of completion percentage and on time throws. So, what I'm talking about when I say play action, it's pistol, it's single back, right? Trying to bite these linebackers into a run play fake, and all of the routes on the back end are going to time up with his footwork. So, what he does really well is it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess it should be a 5 step drop, but maybe I'm counting it wrong. I'm stupid. But he's going to take one hitch, and he's going to deliver a strike in between these linebackers. And this is going to end up going for a touchdown. But what's huge about this is because of this guy sitting right here, this allows for this guy to come down into the play, which opens up this dig. And when I'm talking about his footwork, when he hits this foot, that's what he's supposed to hit is this short route that's over your top screen. But when he takes that hitch up is when the dig opens up and all that time, all of it's on. And this kind of can't be a better ball. Like this is like as good as it can be. It's in stride and probably the reason why it goes for a touchdown. And I think that could make a difference between a for a Georgia team that kind of struggled on the road at Tennessee in man coverage. And I think this game is going to be super close regardless. Like we said, defensive matchup, under is probably a really good play. And I actually have Alabama taking this game 27-24.
Wow.
I don't know. I listen, this is kind of just me being nuts and like fading the public and just people in general.
Well, that's
I
okay.
think I think the +3 is a better bet than the -3. That's all I'm saying. And I think it could be Georgia winning by 3, or it could be Alabama winning by 3. You know what I mean? I really don't know who it is. I'm just saying Alabama for the fun of it. I think the under is a good play, but I'm gonna side with the plus the points instead of the minus because I really think this game is super close.
Yeah. One before I get into my analysis, I'm just gonna ask you a little hypothetical. If Georgia had lost that game to Tennessee, would your pick be any different? Like in the same fashion, but Tennessee wins that game when it's close. Would your pick be any different back against the wall, Georgia, back against the wall, Bama?
I think I'd see it the same way because I looked at this game back and I was like, wow, yeah, they really almost lost this game. Like they should have really lost this game. That was a terrible kick by that Tennessee kicker. And, you know, Stockton made a great throw on that 4th and long to was it Humphreys in the for 4th down to tie the game, and then they went for two. I mean, I don't know if he makes that throw against Alabama. You know what I mean? I don't know if he gets able to complete it because on 4th and 11, I don't know if that's like a great throw. I don't. It's better to get the first down, not go for the Hail Mary on 4th and 11 when you're trying to like if he doesn't complete that, that's the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think I would flip my pick. I do think, like I said, very close game. I could see this going either way. But let me hear what you got.
No, I agree. I wouldn't touch the spread of this game with my life. I would choose a money line and stick to that. If you're going to bet on this game, you just choose a side and you just see what happens because you don't know how this game's going to go. This game's impossible. No one thought last year that Alabama was going to put up 28-0, and then all of a sudden in the second half Georgia comes back, and then
Right.
Alabama still wins 41-38, whatever it was. Like that's just how crazy these games get, and they never seem to go to script. Whatever you think is going to happen, it's going to be the opposite. So I just pick a side and stick with it. I am going to go. Speaking of that side, I'm going to go Georgia, and it's really just because of one play in particular, and you talked about it a little bit, and it may have been a bad decision, but I am now a believer in Gunnar Stockton after that one singular fourth and long
It was a
game
great throw.
line.
It was a great
Like
throw. I got to give it to him.
it's that clip of, who you want to shoot a three-pointer game on, like fate of the universe, Martians have the death beam, that whole thing. They had the death beam at Gunner Stockton. Like, this game is over if you miss this play. And he put it in the perfect spot. And I mean, he showed against Texas last year. He has that dog to go make a play when it matters. So, and he's got weapons now. So, I love that quarterback. I thought that play was tremendous. And then immediately, as soon as I saw that, I was like, Georgia's going to win this game. I know they missed the kick. So, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I agree.
like I said, it's like this.
It's literally.
And the only reason I say Alabama is because for the fun of it, and it really could be decided by 3 points. Like if it's decided by any more than like four, I'd be shocked. But
Yeah, I think if it's decided by any more than four, whoever loses, you're either gonna have, pitchforks and burning going on
this
at
is a huge game for
courthouse,
Kalen DeBoer. Huge.
or you're gonna have people asking questions that not Kirby, but Mike Bobo over on the offensive coordinator side of Georgia, because there's been questions for a while now, I think, over there, just that they've been such a defensive team and it feels like their defense has bailed them out and their offense has done enough. So there's some question marks there, but everything could get answered in this game. I do think, yeah, Kalen DeBoer needs this one. The one thing he's had going for him, kind of, I think that season, last season, if he didn't beat Georgia, there would have been a very different conversation going around the
True.
Alabama camp,
Absolutely. I
especially after
agree.
Oklahoma. So I have Georgia because I don't know if you knew this. This game is a blackout, and the
Okay.
the last time Georgia did that, no Sean Marino was the running back. So they don't do it very often, and it's a night game. There's a 32 game win streak at home for Georgia that's on the line. And so you have Alabama ending that, which is a crazy, crazy
Bold.
is
Got
would
to be
be
bold.
amazing if it happens. But you do have to be bold. I was bold with my Auburn pick. You're gonna be bold with the Bama pick. I'm gonna stick with Georgia in this one. I do love the under. I love the defensive battle. I've got Georgia winning in between the hedges in a really, really good game, 28-24. And I'm gonna tell you how it's gonna go. Alabama's gonna be up 24-21. And it's going to be similar situation you've got to Tennessee last week. And once again, Gunnar Stockton's going to make a play. And I think I'm going to go with it's going to be Zachariah Branch streaking across the middle, just big touchdown to close it out. Georgia wins 28-24. That's my final prediction for that.
I like it. I like it. It's definitely going to come down to like one drive in the fourth
Oh,
quarter. So
100%. These games
can
always.
see it. Can see it either way.
I didn't know that Alabama is 9-1 against Georgia in the last 10 meetings. Like, I didn't know that until I
Pretty
looked.
nuts, right?
That is crazy.
A
Like,
lot of it's obviously Nick Saban, but
yes. And everybody has a saving problem. It's not a Bama problem. It's
no,
a
I
saving
mean
problem.
he is who he is for a reason.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, we've got that. So you've got just to go purely winners. You've got Notre Dame, USC, Texas A&M, LSU, Penn State, and Alabama. Correct?
Correct.
I have all.
If I were to give best bets for all my degens, fellow degens,
Yes.
I would probably go. I mean, you can take them in this. These are just my leans. Notre Dame -4 and the under in that game. USC -6 and the over in that game. LSU money line and the under. Penn State. I'm gonna go. I'll say -3, even though maybe money line's better. And then I'm gonna go Alabama +3 and
Mhm.
the under. Best bets probably Georgia, Alabama under, um, LSU money line, and USC minus the 6.5 or whatever it is.
Okay. I like that. I'm gonna do the same kind of thing. I'm just gonna put a couple in there. LSU money line, completely agree with you on. The over of USC Illinois, completely agree with you on. And the rest people may do with what they please because this slate is just gonna get wild. So it's gonna be a difficult one to predict, but I think the over in that USC game and I think LSU money line are my best bets. I also think if you just want to put the under on the Notre Dame game, I like that as well. I
Yeah,
think
I think that's a high number.
so. I think it's a very high number. Do you have any? We maybe give like one or two.
I'll
Any
give a few
locks
others.
other than the big games?
Yeah, I'll give a few others. I think Indiana goes into Iowa and takes care of business. I like what is it minus? I think it's minus like 8. It's like around the 7, 8.
Yep.
Take it. I
Yep.
mean, that's an impressive team. Hate pains me to say that they are, but they are.
Iowa's not
Um,
a severely impressive team, to be fair.
but also, I like Utah and West Virginia to go under their total. I think it's around what is it, 47. And yeah, Utah looked a little sketchy on offense
Mhm.
last week. We got into it on Tuesday. Don't need to talk about it much more, but the under there as well. Anything you would like to vouch for?
Yeah, so I'm a big lover of what Vandy's doing right now, especially against cupcakes. I think when you get into their serious schedule, then there's a different conversation to be had. But they've got another cupcake this week, and so minus 23, I think is the line. This line started at minus 20. I don't care what it is. I'm still taking it. They put up 70 against Georgia State. That offense is just motoring, like motoring through people. Pavia, especially when he's extremely confident, is going to be hard to stop. And against these smaller teams, he gets confident. And I don't think they necessarily care about how many points they score. I think they're literally trying to score every drive, regardless of what's happening in the game. So I got Vanderbilt by brutal massacre. So take the 23.5 on that. And
Big
then that's
number.
really, other than the other picks that I got, the other two that I gave out, the over in USC, Illinois, I'm going to stick with that one. And then I love the Indiana pick. So I'm going to follow you on that.
Here, let's make a Twitter and we'll post the official picks on Twitter or something like that.
I like that. I like that. We'll post the official picks. Just give your best bets. Um, but yeah, I like it. It should be an amazing weekend of college football.
Oh
We'll
yeah.
back on Tuesday and be sitting here with our heads blown of something
Get
crazy.
your beers, get your food, and just buckle up.
Yeah, and make
That's
sure
all I
you've
got.
got a split screen at 7:30 because you don't want to miss either
Yeah,
Penn State or Alabama.
that's so brutal. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that one out. So
Yeah, well, that's our first Friday episode done. For all you guys listening, for all you guys that just got here, we do a Tuesday segment where we kind of go initial reactions and some film breakdown. So go back, watch that video. But for all you guys are here that are either just gamblers, casual, or degenerate, all are
yep,
welcome.
all are welcome. Fishermen and fisherwomen. If you're
Yes.
out there, we appreciate all of you.
Yep,
Um,
you really do. And also for our Tuesday segment for catch and release, feel free to leave a comment down below. Whatever your opinion or your take is, we'll start reading
oh
those
yeah,
for catch and release, and we'll give our takes on that. So I know there was one from at Danny Mayer who said that the national champion would not come from the Big Ten or the SEC. We'll talk about that on Tuesday.
it's
So
okay. He's known for his great takes. Chicago Bears are Super Bowl contenders to this day.
Bill Williams
And
is an MVP.
right,
Down.
enough said.
So, but in general, we love all the people that are listening here. So thank you guys once again for following along. And it's been a good episode.
See you Tuesday, people.
All right. Peace.